washing, drinking, cooking, swimming, watering your garden. All of those are important, and together they're described as domestic or household water use. But tenth of the water that's used worldwide, about 70% of water use goes into agriculture, helping essential crops and livestock to supply our needs. That explains why things like fruit juice and steak have such a large water footprint. Industry used another 20%, still double the amount used at home by the world population of more than 7 billion. Just about anything that's made or used from basketballs to the internet needs clean water, in addition to containing harmful or even poisonous elements. Dirty water might have high concentrations of salt, calcium, or other minerals that can form deposits on machinery, making it unusable. Can you make dirty water clean? Only 2% of Earth's water is drinkable. The rest is either seawater or locked in ice sheets and glaciers, frozen rivers high up in mountains. For many years, humans have been ruining this precious supply of water. Even today, when people are more aware of pollution, about 2 million tons of human waste gets dumped into fresh water every day. Scientists are working hard to turn things around, developing new ways to clean rivers and lakes that had once seemed to last forever. But will they be able to meet the challenges of a world of pollution that's growing at a rate of 230,000 people each day? You've probably squabbled with someone in your family about who should get the last donut or slice of pizza. Now imagine that you're in charge of a city or country and that your neighbor is hogging something precious that you feel you should share. You'd feel pretty angry. Over the past 60 years, countries have been often going to war over oil. Many experts believe that water will be the oil of the 21st century, a precious natural resource that could trigger wars, regardless of who's right and who's wrong in these disputes. The real losers will always be innocent people who have to go without water because of the fighting. With all the strain on supplies of clean water from the world's growing population of the demands of farms and factories, is there any hope for the future? Will we run out? How can you be sure that clean water will come out when your own children or grandchildren turn on the tap? Luckily, people have been looking for solutions for years. International organizations try to teach people who have clean water and how to save it, so that the thirstiest people get a share of it. Inventors come up with ways, some simple, others more like science fiction, or to trap or transport water. In the future, there might even be human settlements on other planets, and we might find water trapped beneath their surfaces. Preserving clean water. Scientists have been warning the public about preserving clean water supplies for decades. The world has been acted on many of those warnings, especially the cost to clean up rivers and lakes. Horrible events, such as dead fish washing up on shore, rivers catching fire, have promoted action from many governments. Educating people about problems that might or probably will occur, it is a good first step to involving the public. For example, people should be taught that watering their lawn or golf course 24/7 is bound to cause problems somewhere down the line. Another thing to be aware of is that the world is warming up, partly because of human activity. Call it climate change or global warming. The result is the same. We're beginning to see changes in the weather. Some people even talk of a future where London will be as warm as south of France is now. Projects to free up more water for the future are being funded by some of the driest countries on Earth, because they are also some of the richest, the countries near the Persian Gulf, for example, sit above huge depots of oil. This oil has earned these countries trillions of dollars in the past 40 years. In 1975, Prince Mohammed Al Fashel of Saudi Arabia asked French engineer George Mogan to consider towing a huge iceberg to the Red Sea from either Greenland or Antarctica. Mogan worked for 6 years on the project before deciding that it would be too expensive, but in 2009, he returned to it. Using advanced computer designs, he reduced costs. Perhaps one day, an iceberg really will end up parked by the deserts of the Middle East. Fresh water from seawater. Distillation, removing the salt from salt water, is another expensive technique, but it could help a lot of places if we can find a way to do it more cheaply. The cost from the complicated equipment needed. There have been success with distillation. Dubai, an oil-rich city on the Persian Gulf, now gets 98% of its water this way. Apart from the cost, distillation has another big drawback. What happens to all the salt that is removed from the soil? It has to go somewhere, but if it's pumped back into the sea, it could kill fish and other wildlife. Maybe one day there will be new, more affordable techniques to help the world save water from current and future generations. That's all for today. Hope you liked the story and see you on the next one. Bye.